Hello, welcome back. And this video is probably going to be a quick one. I just wanted to give a few tips on how to keep the critters away in Cambodia. Because in Cambodia there are quite a few things that can actually, come into your house and ruin your day. So there are, of course, cockroaches, there are ants, spiders, really big spiders, by the way. And there are rats, mice, I don't know, a bunch of things like that. So this video will just kind of give you some tips, and these are all tips that I've used, and my house is pest free. I don't have any insects, I don't have any rodents or anything like that. And I get spiders, but I usually leave spiders alone. So yeah, this will help you. So the number one thing I recommend, just to take care of it right away, is when you come here and get an apartment, try to get one on the top floor, because when you go to the top floor, insects, rats, mice, all these things are less likely to go all the way to the top, because they want an easy meal, so they're not likely to really work for it. So going up there will cut your effort in half. You won't have to work so hard to keep them away when you're on the top floor. So think about that when you're searching for your first apartment in Cambodia. It will help you out a lot. And the number two is actually a pretty obvious one. Pests won't come if there's nothing for them to eat. So whenever you're eating, if you drop crumbs, things like that, just pick it up, and it will save you a lot of headache later. Because anytime I've accidentally dropped a bit of food and didn't realize it, I'd wake up the next morning and tons of ants. Without fail, it happens every single time. So I've gotten very good at making sure that I eat over a plate or something. I don't just eat and let it fall where it may. And another thing along the same lines is make sure you don't leave dishes overnight, because when you leave dishes overnight, it does two things. It gives them a water source, plus it gives them a really huge meal, and they always invite their friends. And these are mainly for ants, cockroaches also, but I've never had a cockroach in my house. So yeah, that will help you out a lot. Just precautions on everything. Always try to handle it before it happens. That's my motto when it comes to dealing with pests. Just make it to where your house is undesirable and they're not likely to show up. And which I mentioned it with the dishes. So number three is remove water, because they're not going to hang out if they can't drink anything, because every living thing needs water. So if you wash dishes or whatever, take real quick, just take a towel and wipe up any water droplets. Because if you think about it, a water droplet's something that you wouldn't drink. But think of a cockroach about this big, water droplets about this big. That's like buckets of water to a cockroach. That's plenty of water. They could drink that all night. So think of it that way. Make sure there are no water droplets anywhere, and you will not have cockroaches, and you'll have less ants, and probably very few spiders also. And also mice and rats need water, so same thing. So just remove the water, and you create a deterrent for any would-be pests. And another thing I do, because ants are always a problem here, but another thing I do is right along the border of the door, I always spray a little bit of insecticide there, like Raid. But I spray it there so I don't have to spray it inside the house, so I don't have to track poison everywhere. So I spray it just along the edge of the door, and it doesn't kill the ants, but it makes it to where they come and sniff it, and then they go away, because it kind of creates a barrier for them. So that's something you can do. Another thing you can do if you want to be more animal friendly is ants are blind, and they use pheromones to find their way. So what you can do is take vinegar And anywhere where you see that they've walked, just wipe that area down with vinegar. And what that will do is erase the ant trails, which are pheromones. They'll erase those, and then the ants won't be able to find their way. So do that, and it will help you a lot with the ants. And another thing you can do, which I do, and it works out fine, is keep all food in the refrigerator, like everything. The only thing I don't keep in there is the rice, but I have a rice container, so I don't have to worry about that. But any vegetables, fruits, anything like that, keep them in the refrigerator, because nothing will attract mice more than food sources. That means even if it's in a box, like a box of cereal, I keep in the refrigerator. And it also makes the food last longer, so if you think of it that way. But just keep it in the refrigerator, or at least in some very airtight thing, so that nothing can get to it. And that will help you out, and it will take your headache away. So yeah, those are my tips, just 5. And if you follow those, you're less likely to have insects and rodents. But you have to be diligent, so make sure you have an action plan and stick with it. Because if you don't, it can easily get out of hand for you. So other than that, I will see you the weekend, I guess, this weekend sometime. All right, have a good day.